All right, we're in St. Joe, Missouri Western, sprawling campus. You guys can see it all around me. 16th stop on my training camp tour. That puts me at half the league. Takeaways after spending the morning with the two-time defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs. Takeaway number one, if there's a question on offense, it's at left tackle. So keep an eye on this name. Kingsley Su Mata, their second round pick out of BYU. Talent has never been the question with Su Mata. It's more about who he is and entitlement and maturity. He was a former 5-star recruit out of high school, initially went to Oregon, transferred to BYU. The advantage the Chiefs have here is Andy Reid is a BYU alum. Andy Reid knows the family, and Su Mata's family has a ton of NFL people in it, guys like Puka Nacua and Penei Sewell. And so not only did he know who he was getting, he had an idea of what buttons to push. As such, the Chiefs have not experienced the sorts of issues that some expected from Su Mata coming in. It looks like he's going to beat out Wayne Morris to become the team's starting left tackle. And beyond just that, it looks like he's got a chance to be a very solid left tackle in the pros. Takeaway number two, if there's a question on defense, is at the corner position. They have an all-pro anchor there in Trent McDuffie, but they do have to replace what they had in L'Jarius Sneed. They've got a couple of guys and third-year players, Jalen Watson and Joshua Williams, who played a lot of football for him. But there is another name to watch there too, and that's a guy named Najee Johnson, who's in that same draft class with Watson, with Williams, and with McDuffie. A couple of years ago, he spent some time on the practice squad. Last year, he tore his ACL. He's had a really strong camp and has forced his way into the competition to get prime playing time in the fall. Takeaway number three, if there is an addition, a place for the Chiefs to add coming, then I would suspect it could be in the pass rush. Charles Omenihu, who's been a reliable player for the Chiefs, tore his ACL in the AFC title game. They aren't expecting him back until November, so they could be looking for some help opposite George Karlaftis. There are some interesting names out there, both in the trade market and the veteran market, so that could be one area to keep an eye on. And if there are other pieces of business to take care of, I'd say those would be internal. In particular, the 2021 draft class, those guys are all eligible for contracts now. Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith have all become very good players for the Chiefs. So those guys could get extended. The Chiefs may have to pick and choose a little bit on that, though. It's a good problem to have, but there are a lot of mouths to feed with how well the team's drafted over the last couple of years. Finally, takeaway number four, I don't want to underplay this. Kelce's presence with the team has been huge this year in particular, and not that it isn't every year, but through 2 weeks of training camp, he has not missed a single practice day. He's a guy who went through a lot from an injury standpoint last year. He's 34 years old. He'd be well within his rights to ask for veteran days off. He would 100% get those veterans days off if he asked for them, but he's been out there every day. And with Andy Reid running as demanding a camp as he does, with long practices and a lot of contact, having a guy like that at that age who's setting that sort of tone is huge for the team. If you're a younger player, you see a guy like Kelce doing what he's been doing over the last couple of weeks in training camp, you have no choice but to fall in the line. And as I see it, at least, that sets the Chiefs up to make a real run at being the first team ever to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls.